Hi, Pat the podcast editor here. Dan and Lloyd are a bit busy right now. They've left me with the task of introducing this week's episode, like a couple of anchors. In this episode, they'll be discussing building your personal brand and how it might be simpler than you think.
The most simple way to explain it is it's your reputation. It's what people...
Why don't you call it that?
Because we're marketers and we like to jazz things up to make them sound fancy, Lloyd. Come on.
Okay. Sounds easy enough. Now, we all know that nobody wants a bad reputation, but what can a good reputation do for you?
Ultimately, we're all salespeople. We're all trying to convince other human beings to do what we want them to do. It's your reputation that is going to influence whether those people do what you want them to or not. If you have a better reputation, then they're more likely to listen to you. Reputation is personal brand.
Dan also touches on the power of relationships. Lloyd sheds a bit of light on the art of building them.
Throughout my teens and early 20s, I was really good at building relationships that some people call the friend zone.
You were brilliant at those, weren't you?
Yeah, I was really good at building.
Holding the bags. You had tons of friends that were girls. Everyone thought, wow, how's Lloyd doing this?
Yeah.
But they were all friend zoned, weren't they?
I was at all the sleepovers.
Eye-opening stuff. Now, if you don't mind, I have to maintain my personal brand by getting this podcast out on time. So let's get into episode 45 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long.
Why does talking about building a personal brand feel so cringy, Dan?
I think that people who aren't in business or the marketing world think that it sounds very self-centered and weird. Like building, it's all about me.
That's what you tell us in this office, is all about you,
Yeah.
don't you? Yeah.
It is, exactly.
I think that's why it's a bit cringy as well, because we'll talk about benefits of building a personal brand and stuff, but it's a bit like, it is that me thing, and like, you're trying to be an influencer, are you? But I don't know.
Yeah, but once you listen to the end of this podcast, you'll really understand, if you don't already, the benefits of building a personal brand and how that perception, I believe, is wrong.
Okay.
I don't because if you actually get the principles of what a personal brand is and how it can be used and the benefits, you won't have that same opinion of, it's just a way to get attention from everyone.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is funny having a personal brand and you getting recognised and things in the street, and that really makes me laugh. And then you always come back and then you're like, oh my god, I'm such a celebrity, guys.
I don't say that at all.
Yeah, it's pretty cringy.
Someone in the pub recognised Lloyd the other day, didn't they, and said, you're Dan Knowlton's brother.
Yeah, you say recognise Lloyd. That's not really recognising Lloyd, is it? They literally don't know my name. They call me Dan Knowlton's brother.
That's your name.
So we keep saying personal brand. For anyone that isn't too familiar with it, what do we actually mean when we talk about building a personal brand?
I think the most simple way to explain it is it's your reputation. It's what people...
Why don't you call it that?
Because we're marketers and we like to jazz things up to make them sound fancy, Lloyd. Come on.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, it's basically your reputation. And, whether you like the sound of what a personal brand is or not, everyone's got one. So you don't have a choice. You've got a personal brand. Everyone here's got a personal brand. Everyone listening has a personal brand. It's your reputation. It's what people think about you. It's your choice whether you work to improve that and build on that, or that you just,
Do you know what? I think there are, I was going to say old school business owners, or like people in business, but maybe not all old school, just people that like think it's cringy, that, I'm not going to build my personal brand. What's that all about? I think if you do just call it your reputation, I think a lot more people would get on board with like, I'll spend I'll have a strategy to build my reputation over months so that I get new business.
Ultimately, we're all salespeople. We're all trying to convince other human beings to do what we want them to do. If you're trying to look for a promotion in your job, you're a salesperson trying to convince your manager to promote you. If you're looking for people to donate to your charity, you're a salesperson trying to get people to donate to that charity. And it's your reputation that is going to influence whether those people do what you want them to or not. If you have a better reputation, then they're more likely to listen to you. Reputation is personal brand.
I think thinking about it on like that smaller scale as well, rather than because when I hear personal brand, I have to admit I think of a few kind of wanky business people online where it's all about them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm so cool, and I've got this Lamborghini I drive to my office with, but it's not about money, but look at my money," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's where I think in my mind, I sometimes have a bit of a negative view of building personal brand, and I think of people like that. But if you think of it on the smaller scale, like you said, of like, you've got a personal brand in your business and you're like just trying to get promoted or convince other people to work with you. I think that's quite a cool thing to think about. It's not like, you're trying to be an influencer on the internet. It's more like you're doing stuff to try and make people think certain things about you, to help you achieve certain things.
And that's why this podcast episode is so relevant to everyone. Because everyone is trying to, even if you're an absolute introvert and you really don't like engaging with other humans, to get through life, you have to. And you have to convince other people to do stuff. So it's the same as like a business brand, but it's you as a human.
So what is the difference there between like building a brand as a business and a personal brand, and why would you go one way or another?
Well, I can only sort of advise based on our experience, and ultimately, everyone, you hear this all the time, people buy from people, right?
Yeah, but that's a bit of a wanky saying.
No, but it's true. Like what would you relate to more if someone, let's say you're on a website about to buy something, right?
Oh, I'm on a website.
You're about to buy, what are you going to buy?
About to buy something, Dan.
Okay.
About to buy toenail clippers.
Toenail clippers.
Yep.
Okay. And
My
one of those
toes are horrific, mate. You should see them.
I know.
Smell as well.
Right. One of those chat things pops up, right? And it's a little logo of that company saying, "Hi, I'm the company. Do you want help?" And it's a logo. How do you feel about that?
I feel like that's probably a bot, because if they've just got a logo, it's definitely not a person. So I probably wouldn't interact with it, because I think it's not going to help me.
What about if Sandra, a 40-year-old woman from East Sussex, was there saying, "Lloyd, hi, it's Sandra from East Sussex. I'm just down the road from you, and I've seen that you've got a bit of an issue here. How can I help?" How do you feel about that?
I'd say, "Sandra, you need some geography lessons, love. East Sussex isn't down the road, but I'm looking for some toenail clippers. So could you help me, Sandra?"
That's a really crap example, but people buy from people. So building your, the way we've grown our whole business, starting out especially, was to build my personal brand in the marketing space, and it's since evolved into our personal brands.
Yeah.
Because it's a great way to attract opportunities as well. Yeah, and I mean, yes, there's examples of obviously lots of companies that build themselves as a brand,
but I think even those big companies, like some of our clients and some people in spaces we've met at events and different things and network with, they very much, it's not like a person at the top of it with a personal brand, but and they're building their business brand or whatever you'd call it. But then there are like 4 or 5 individuals within it that are actually like speaking at events and to achieve. And I think it's not even just selling their product. There'll be like people building their personal brand within a business that are working on like partnerships with other businesses. So then they're going to business events and building up their profile and stuff.
If you look at like Goat Agency, their vlog, they've now got key characters within that vlog that people get excited to see. Their brand isn't about one personal brand that's running the business. It's about all the personal brands within the business.
Yeah.
We work with companies to develop their teams in-house personal brands. Even if you're a huge brand and everyone knows the brand and the logo and they don't know the people, you can still work to build those key leaders up within the business to get out there, just like Goat has.
The Goat Agency, check them out by the way if you haven't. I think they are really good at that, aren't they, with individuals within the business and their personal brands.
Do you think everyone should build a personal brand? I know I'm banging on about it.
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Well,
do you just hate personal brands now, Lloyd?
No, I don't at all. I think it's really, really positive for a lot of people in business. I guess...
So you don't think everyone should try and get a better reputation, no?
No.
Okay. I think everyone should just sit in the hole and not do anything with their lives and not try and improve themselves.
Yeah. I think no, that's not what I think actually. Then I think, like you said, even if people aren't building trying to build a massive personal brand and become this person with loads of followers online and people that want to hear what they have to say, I think there are positives of, like, say you're trying to achieve something in business, get promoted or be known for a certain thing that you're not currently known for because you want to achieve certain things, then yeah, that makes sense. But I think not everyone not everyone is trying to achieve things that need the outside world to pay attention to them. There are, not everyone needs that.
It's not just the outside world though. It's, I'm not just talking about building a personal brand online to reach millions of people. What about building your reputation? I'll keep calling that so that you agree with me for once. Mm-hmm. What about building your reputation in your local community or with the people around you at work? Or just give in and say you agree with me.
I'll stick with my answer. I think for a lot of people that's a really good thing if they want to achieve certain things. But not everyone has to push themselves to achieve things and known by other people and things. But I think you're right. For most people,
disagree.
for most, that's how we should disagree with each other on points. You just shout disagree over people's sentences.
I do. Okay, so I will actually go back slightly. I
agree.
I used to preach to everyone when I was like Gary V wannabe. I used to preach to everyone. I listened to what he said and I'd be like, yeah, everyone's got to build a personal brand. And I do understand that not everyone wants to put themselves out there to millions of people and look at me, out there on huge platforms. But I'm going to stand by my point of I still think everyone who's trying to develop themselves in their life should look to improve their reputation, in brackets personal brand. Because it's only going to have a positive impact. And that doesn't mean you've got to start making videos of yourself and like, oh, look at me.
Yeah.
Like we do.
It's our kind of business has been weird in the past. So we started out very much like building your personal brand, and it's been brilliant for our business. And without it, we wouldn't have grown to where we are now. And it was very focused on you. And like when it was just the two of us, we decided that I would basically be working in the background to help build
carry my bags.
to help build your personal brand.
You made good tea,
because do you remember we had the discussion of like, well, should I now just try and do what you're doing? So we've got two people like that, and we decided in the end that it would make more sense to put both of our efforts into building one.
I think
person
I was worried that you would think I want it to be all about me.
I remember,
and I was like, oh, I've got to try to include Lloyd in this. And then you're not the kind of person that wants to do that.
This conversation, you go, no, but you don't. Why would you want to do that? It's all on me. I'm like, Dan, this isn't something where I'm like, oh no, I've got to build up someone else. Like, this is what makes sense for our business, and I'm suggesting that should be.
It's funny how it's evolved now. Organically, now we've started this podcast, and like you're in more content, and you're the kind of the lead funny person in our sketches and stuff. A lot of more people are kind of shouting out for Lloyd.
Lead funny person, not just in sketches.
Lead funny person in life.
Yeah. Punch the mic.
Classic. Yeah, so I think it's evolved organically, but now we're now looking to move forward to building the Knowlton brand as well. So it's evolving again.
Yeah, because that's an interesting thing, isn't it? We're now building a business where we want, as we grow, we want our business to be sustainable in the future.
Yeah.
So say if you're on a 2-week holiday, we don't want the whole business to stop. It's like, well, Dan's not making content out to the outside world, so we're not getting business in. So that's kind of the next step, moving so that we can. This is a good question, actually. I love. I'm saying it's a good question before I ask it. Just so you know, my questions are brilliant. In the future, do you think we'll move down a route of trying to build other personal brands within our business, other people in this business?
Yes.
Or do you...
I think so. And we're not there at all yet, but as we evolve and we start to try and build a business where it's sustainable without us, I think we've had such success with this whole personal brand building approach. I think we wouldn't be trying to reinvent the wheel. Yes, we'd be utilizing other marketing approaches and channels. We're constantly evolving what we're doing. But I do think that's going to be an approach that we're at least going to try, surely. Like if we've had success.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to think as well. Like, so we had Taylor start with us yesterday. Welcome, Taylor, to the Knowlton team. It's cool thinking like in 5 years, like Taylor could just have this big audience online and like talking about
girls screaming for knickers at him and stuff.
Yeah,
oh, Taylor!
Yeah. That's mate. Does that happen with you?
No.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's cool that like we could have individuals in our business that are well known for certain things, and like
I think there's so much expertise within the team that we don't capitalize on with our own marketing. There's plenty of opportunities to create content that shares their knowledge because our team are wicked and they're all well clever.
So we keep going on about, personal brand, and you keep saying, it's really good for everyone, and then I say, yeah, most people, and you say, everyone, and then I say most people. But for the listeners, what do you think what are your key tips of, like, if people want to go down this route? If someone's thinking, I don't really know if I have a personal brand now, I don't know if I should, but how do I get there?
I think the first key thing is to understand the bigger picture. What we've already spoken about, that personal brand building is basically just building your reputation. So understanding the importance of that is the first point. Even if you haven't decided you're going to build it yet, you need to be thinking and understanding why it's so important.
So kind of knowing why you're doing it?
Yeah.
Rather than just, I want more people to know.
Dan said build a personal brand, so I'm going to build it. No. Know that it's building your reputation, which is going to convince more humans to do what you want them to, which is going to help you ultimately achieve whatever you want to achieve in life.
When you can I just stop you there?
Yeah.
When you keep saying convince more humans to do what you want them to do, it sounds a bit like it could be very negative.
No, but okay. So
do you have bad personal brands? I suppose you do.
No, you do. Of course you do. Lloyd, I'm just being transparent about how this works. You can choose. I hope everyone listens to this and chooses to utilize this very strategic information in a positive way.
Yeah, because that's the point. Actually, that's what the cringy thing I was thinking at the start of those people that are selling courses that are just shit, and they're just trying to make loads of money from people and they don't know what they're talking about. So people do use personal brands for negative stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like,
convince you to buy
good guys and bad guys.
Yeah. Be a good guy or gal.
Okay, cool.
Listeners.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting. Be a good personal brand builder.
Yeah. So that's the first key thing. Secondly, it's important to understand what are the key pillars that you want to kind of beat the drum about. What are the things that you want to be known for? You know, if you're really
planting trees.
Well, we know that with you, Lloyd.
Cool.
Gardening, I can name all of yours. Gardening, planting trees, charity work, being caring and kind. Look, I already know all of yours, Lloyd. So, listeners, you may not know yours, but start to think about what is it you care about and what do you want to be known for? And if you're struggling to think of stuff, then you need to start getting good at something. You know, take up a hobby.
It's such a funny tip. Just get good at something.
No, but take up some kind of hobby, because if you really can't think of something that you want the outside world to know you for, then, you know, I remember when I was 16, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do with my life, and I didn't really have an interest in anything. Been there.
Yeah, you don't feel strongly enough about anything to be like, I want loads of people to
No, exactly.
think of this when they
And
think
if you're
of
at
me.
that point, then it's like, try skateboarding or climbing or cooking, or try some stuff and see what you like, figure that out, and then you can start to think, I could actually get known for this and build a reputation for this. So that's the second point. The third point, I think this is a core skill that I honestly believe every human being should learn and practice, and that's public speaking. And by public speaking, wait, Lloyd, don't screw your face up. By public speaking, I don't mean standing on a stage. You know, that's taking it to the next level. What I mean is being better at speaking in front of other people, even if it's just you speaking in front of your mate or your boss, and I guess that's communication.
About something you want. Yeah.
We did a podcast about that the other week, didn't we? But just get better at, because when you want to build your personal brand, you want your reputation, you want to come across to the outside world as best as possible. And if you're good at communicating your ideas, then it's going to be more effective.
I suppose the first step like that, like if it was me and I'm like really, so say I continue down this path, I'm really passionate about wanting to plant loads of trees to help future generations and be carbon negative, all that stuff. I suppose the first step is like being good at communicating what I'm trying to achieve to like the people in our office.
Yeah, exactly.
And so everyone's just like, Lloyd's trying to do this thing, plant loads of trees. He's doing it because it's good for the planet and blah, blah, blah.
If you were terrible at communication and speaking in front of people, you'd struggle. We'd all be there like, what's he doing it for?
He just shouts trees sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one knows why. Trees.
Exactly. So, and there's a really good book. If anyone's into reading or audiobooks, Ted's Official Guide to Public Speaking by Chris Anderson. That was one of the best books I've ever read in terms of learning how to get good at public speaking. It's got some amazing stories in there, and the founder of TED is the guy that wrote it. Even if you don't want to speak on stages in front of people, which is most people listening to this probably, please read it, because it will help you with your communication with other people. So that's another tip. The next thing is understanding the power of relationships and putting relationships first. Almost all decisions are based on relationships. if you're doing business, if you're trying to make friends, if you're trying to get a girlfriend, boyfriend, it's all to do with relationships. So if you get good at building relationships, it's going to help you to get more people to listen to you and help you build your reputation with more people because you're...
Throughout my teens and early 20s, I was really good at building relationships that some people call the friend zone.
You were brilliant at those, weren't you?
Yeah, I was really good at building.
Holding the bags. You had tons of friends that were girls. Everyone thought, wow, how's Lloyd doing this?
Yeah.
But they were all friend zoned, weren't
I
they?
was at all the sleepovers. Anyway, that's going off topic a bit. Sorry.
Final tip, I guess, is to have a proactive mentality. Is to put yourself out there, push yourself outside your comfort zone, and do the things that other people aren't willing to do. If you want to build your personal brand quicker than anyone else, you need to do the things that other people aren't willing to do.
I've got a really good saying that I think is something you can remember that represents this. And this covers lots of things, but what you just said.
Go on.
Live like no one else so you can live like no one else. So that sounds cringy, but what it means is like you said, like you push yourself now out of your comfort zone and people be like, why is he making those weird videos about planting trees? Why doesn't he just do what everyone else does and just drink beer and not give a shit about anything? But then after a while, because you've been doing that stuff no one else does, then you get the positive
It's
effects.
funny. I can totally relate. I remember when I started making those stupid videos, looking back, they were stupid videos of me on camera, like, do marketing stuff. Everyone I knew took the piss out of me and thought what a knob I was. Now we're running a successful business because of it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We
So
do
what
still
do
take the
you
piss.
think of it now, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's just some tips. I actually want to play a bit of a game with you.
Cool. Twister?
No, it's a bit of a different game to do personal branding.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I just haven't played Twister in a while.
Yeah, I think that'd be rubbish for the listeners.
Okay, yeah.
So, I've got a few examples of personal brands.
Yeah.
And I've looked up that personal brand's Twitter following compared to their very well-known company's Twitter following. And I want to ask you what you think the different numbers are.
Okay.
So, do you know who Richard Branson is, Lloyd?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, fellow virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a son, so it doesn't really make any sense. Yeah.
He's not yours. Richard Branson, so, he's founder of Virgin. They've got planes. They had Coca-Cola. Do you remember they had Coca-Cola? Virgin Coca-Cola, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, Virgin
Cola.
Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah.
Cruise liners and what else?
Loads of stuff.
Okay, anyway, loads of stuff. So, how many Twitter followers do you think Virgin has?
Oh, okay. I'm going to be so far off on this, but I'm going to say 1.6 million.
Good guess. And how many do you think Richard Branson has?
7 million.
So just to let you know, Virgin has 245.9 thousand.
Oh,
Richard Branson has 12.5 million.
Oh, so the brand was much lower than I thought, and he's much higher. Okay.
I know the point is he's got more followers. Followers aren't everything at all. You can buy followers from Russia if you want. But this is just reinforcing the point that, people are more interested in hearing from a human being because they're more relatable rather than a logo, like the example I shared earlier.
His business is built up and stuff.
Yeah.
So not even 1 million people care about the massive brand he's built up.
250,000.
But they all want to hear what he's got to say.
Have you ever heard of Elon Musk?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. You're into cryptocurrency.
Well, you say I'm into cryptocurrency. I want people.
He once lost £4 million of Bitcoin. Yeah, we did a podcast episode on that.
It'd be worth more than that now.
So Elon Musk versus Tesla, his car company.
Yep.
How many followers?
Tesla 500,000. Elon Musk has got loads, I reckon. Elon Musk.
What, the richest man in the world? He probably does.
Yeah, 17.5 million.
Oh, you are so off. I'm actually ashamed.
70 million.
I'm actually ashamed if that's closer. So Tesla, what did you say, Tesla?
500,000.
500,000, 9.5 million. Oh. See, you got swayed by the Virgin.
Oh, I just swore. Sorry, guys. Do I normally do that?
What did you do?
I said the F word. Oh. Sorry, everyone.
Elon Musk, 54.1 million.
Right.
You said...
God,
you're terrible.
Bad. Okay.
Again, just showing that personal brand. So, final one. This is probably the biggest of them all. Dan Knowlton.
Oh, on Twitter?
Yeah.
What, 10.1 million or so?
Versus Knowlton's Twitter.
I don't actually know on Twitter. I'm going to be so far off on this, I reckon. 62,000.
And what's Knowlton's?
1,000.
Dan Knowlton is Oh, I'm commenting on myself. 40.4 thousand on Twitter, and Knowlton is 28,000.
Oh. Oh, Knowlton's higher than cool. Dan Knowlton must be a rubbish personal brand because Knowlton's pretty close.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was a bit of a fun game. But you should look at some of the personal brands within the companies to see. I did actually look though. Do you know? Have you heard of Bumble?
Yeah.
And
that's a dating thing. Right?
Dating thing, and it was like the
I
first.
said yes too quickly then. No, I don't use those.
It was the first female billionaire, like a few months ago.
That's where
she
I heard
IPO'd
about
and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought, I want to get some other examples as well of females and stuff. And then I went, and she's actually, this is an example why this isn't for everyone. Her personal brand is, I think she had like 7,000 followers or something, or 10,000 followers, and Bumble was like absolutely millions. So it completely went against what I'm saying. So I think it's interesting to see.
Yeah, it's not that way for everyone. And also, I don't know much about Bumble, but it may be that there are
Stop lying, Lloyd.
Maybe there are bigger personal brands within that business than her. Because don't forget, it doesn't, like we're saying, it doesn't have to be the owner or the founder of the business. It can be other. And I would imagine with Bumble, there probably are. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bit of a fun game for you.
Yeah. How many Twitter followers do I have? Basically none, because I got hacked and I can't get my account back.
Oh, yeah. That's so annoying.
For all those people out there, follow me on Twitter on a new one. Oh, I forgot.
Is it official Lloydie something?
Don't even remember what the handle is. So don't bother doing that.
Just to summarise on my thoughts about building a personal brand, I truly, truly believe in the power of attracting opportunities through building a personal brand. If you look back at the history of us, from starting from no one having a clue who we were to now, attracting and working with some of the biggest brands in the world, wicked opportunities. Like, I'm potentially going to be speaking on a thing that I can't say about, but Rio Ferdinand was on it, and they've asked me to do it.
Nice.
And just I just think there's so many opportunities that can come your way from building a personal brand, not just business, but it's changing the word to reputation, and it sounds less cringy. Yeah. And then you can kind of see why it's powerful. But
also, you just saying the history of our business. If you think of the history of the world, Jesus had a pretty good personal brand.
Yeah.
Convinced a lot of people to do stuff with some magic tricks.
Oh, Lloyd, you're going to really...
Controversial. I'm only joking. I respect all faiths. And
on that bombshell, please don't hate us.
Jesus had a great personal brand, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he hadn't even listened to this podcast.
If he was real.
Imagine if he listened to this podcast.
He'd be, Yeah.
That went weird. Cool. Well, thank you for listening, Business Anchors. Do you have anything else to say, Dan?
No, just bye.
Cool. To me or to the listeners?
Both.
Cool. See you later.